Oh my God, Floyd, that was so fun. Thank you for helping us relive that terrifying moment of your life. I hope if any of your children are listening, you just earmuffed them the whole time. You were like, no, that's not the moral of that story. The moral is canteens, a map, a compass, listen to the people in the backcountry office. Oh my gosh, that's the second story where I feel like saying, like, how many of you were so nervous the whole time? Oh my gosh, Floyd, thank you so much for sharing that adventure with us and basically being a walking public service announcement for the National Park Service. Floyd, how long ago did that happen?
That was around 92.
1992. So literally since 1992, every single day you've been like one day longer on this planet. Dear Jesus, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing that story. I am stressed out just listening to it. You guys, I'm really excited to welcome up our 6 of 7 storytellers. Our next storyteller, I'm kind of like looking to make eye contact with you. Oh yeah, Mary, you're right in front. Sorry, I was looking past you. All right, you guys, Mary Schumacher, she is here all the way from Flagstaff to share a story with us this evening about one of her most notable outdoor moments. She's gonna tell us right now. Come on.
Don't you hate that sound your car makes? That thump thump sound when you run over a little animal like a squirrel or a chipmunk? I do too, because I am a big animal lover. I've mostly been a vegetarian most of my life. I love animals, dogs, cats, whatever. And in fact, I love animals so much that when I was 10 and my little sister was 5, she started the We Love All Animals Club with her best friend, and I was sworn in as a member. Now, normally I don't do this, but you guys seem really cool, so I'm gonna swear you in, all right? You have to love animals to be sworn in. So if you don't love animals, the rest of us are gonna look at you like, you know, what's going on here? So you probably wanna get sworn in, even if you're faking it. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna swear you into the We Love All Animals Club. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. I love it. Love all animals. Big or small, mean or nice, stinky or clean. Okay, that's it. You're a part of the club. All right, now don't go around telling other people, you know, this is our thing, right? Our special thing. So my work in Flagstaff sometimes overlaps with animals. And one of the ways is that we have plague in northern Arizona. You may have read about this recently as if it were new news, but actually we've had plague in northern Arizona forever. And we probably will have it forever. They call that endemic. So the story I'm going to tell you about squirrels has to do with looking for plague. But first of all, I want to check how many of you are hypochondriacs or you're here with a hypochondriac. Okay, so before I go on, I'm going to tell you a little bit about plague so you can relax. Now, plague is a disease, as you know, it killed many, many people in the Middle Ages. And how it is transmitted to humans is it makes the fleas that are infected with Yersinia pestis, which is the pathogen, it goes on to rodents, and the rodents move the fleas around. Often the rodents will die off, so the fleas look for other hosts, so they bite humans, and then the humans get plague. Okay, now, for you hypochondriacs, I know you now are pretty much sure you have it. I know this because I live with one. And so I'm not telling you the symptoms because all of a sudden you're going to have a sore throat and, you know. Are there any other, I'm an epidemiologist. Are there any other epidemiologists here to get to know these people? Because they know these things. So so that's the way plague is transmitted. So the deal is now, though, we have antibiotics. And if you were to get plague, which it's highly unlikely you will, we've had a few cases over the last decade, but just a few in humans. And if you do get plague, you can take antibiotics and it clears right up. Okay? So now, stop texting and driving, and you're going to be a lot safer. And quit worrying about the plague. All right, so now how do you look for plague? What would I be doing with that? Well, a lot of the time I look at numbers. Since I'm an epidemiologist, I look at epidemics and disease trends. So a lot of times I'm at my desk looking at computer numbers. Not very exciting. But one day on my job, I got to go out with some biologists and look to see if we could find any infected fleas on squirrels, because then we know where there's an area where there might be plague. So we got to go to northern Arizona, and we took off in our boots and our hiking boots and pants and stuff. And what you do is you humanely trap some squirrels, and then you take them to this setup to like a table. And you take them out of the cage where you've caught them. And by the way, yes, these are humane traps. You put peanut butter in one end, they come in, and the door closes behind them. So then you take those cages with the squirrels to this table, and you gently take the squirrel out by the scruff of its neck. You put it in a baggie with some anesthetic, knocks the squirrel out, knocks the fleas out. You comb the fleas off of the squirrel before the squirrel wakes up, and then you put the squirrel back in the cage and take it back to where it was. Simple, nothing to it. How many people have done this? So, all right. So we head out and we trapped right off the bat 4 squirrels pretty easily. I'm watching her sign for squirrel. I'm gonna see what it looks like. All right. So we trap 5 squirrels. So we have the 5 traps, and we bring them over to our table, right? And of course, I had to name each of the squirrels after each of us. So, there was Moret and Crystal and so on. And then we get to the last squirrel, who was kind of big, and there were 2 people left for 1 squirrel because there were 5 people. So I had to name it after me and another guy, Doug. So I named it Doug Mayer. And it was kind of a big squirrel, so it kind of deserved 2 names. So we did this whole process with the squirrels where you put them in the bag with the anesthetic, knocks them out, you comb the fleas off, fleas go to the lab, and then put the squirrel back in. Everything was going fine, except some of the squirrels were waking up a little bit fast before we could, really get them back in the cage, and you had to kind of struggle. So when we got to Doug Mayer, as I said, was a big boy, we decided to use a little bit more anesthetic on Doug Mayer. So we take Doug Mayer out gently, put him in the bag, close the bag, put the anesthetic, put a little extra anesthetic in. Doug Mayer's knocked out, he's on the table, we comb the fleas off of him, and Doug Mayer stops breathing. Now, I've already told you I love animals. You all love animals. This was horrible. So a lot of things are going through my head. We love all animals, big or small, mean or nice, stinky or clean. Mayor, you've got to be a professional. Squirrels die every day. They fall out of trees. Coyotes eat them, stuff like that. So, you need to be very professional about this, and it's going to be okay. But yet, I can't believe this. It's so horrible. Luckily, my colleague Matt pushes me out of the way, and he says, "Wait a minute, I'm a CPR instructor." And Matt takes out 2 fingers, and he goes to Doug Mayer and he starts doing chest compressions. And I am thinking, this is never gonna work. There is no way. But yet I'm kind of, it's like when you clap for Tinkerbell and Peter Pan. Come on, Doug Mayer, come on. And sure enough, Doug Mayer's little eyes opened up and he was back. And we took Doug Mayer and put him back in the cage, and we took Doug Mayer and Moret and everybody right back to where we trapped them, and they went on home, and I bet they had quite a story to tell their families. So, I was feeling pretty good about this afterwards. I thought, this must be like squirrel karma? Like something, like I'm up 1 now. I'm up 1 on my squirrel karma. This must be really good. And I did what any self-respecting person would do in this instance, which is you go to Google and find out what this really means in your life. Now, there is something called karma that Buddhists know about, and it's about, additional lives and the life you've lived. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing that I don't really understand. So to me, karma is the way we think of it here in the US, which is this for that. So, for example, if somebody in a romantic relationship dumps you, and then they dump you for someone else, and then they go off with someone else, and then 3 months later that someone else dumps your ex, and you go, wow, that's karma. That's the kind of karma I'm thinking about. You know, I'm up one. I'm up one now on my karma. I'm feeling really good about it. So I look it up on the web, and there's hardly anything about squirrel karma. I did find one website called Squirrel Karma. I thought all my prayers would be answered, and it's actually put out by the woman who calls herself the Nut Lady, and her children are the Nutlets, and it was kind of about what they had for lunch. So it just didn't open up a lot for me, but still, I was feeling good about this. I am up one. Who knows what life will bring me now? So not a week later, I'm driving along in my car, feeling that good karma, squirrel karma feeling. And I'm driving out of my neighborhood in Flagstaff, and thump, thump. No. And I pull the car over and I look back, and sure enough, it was a squirrel. And it wasn't going to be saved. There was no CPR going to happen on this squirrel. It was basically roadkill. So, two horrible things about that. First of all, I had killed an animal, and I love animals. Second of all, my squirrel karma was back to 0. Thank you.